Shalom. I am going to go ahead and do a video right now, and basically this was an article that I wrote after CPS had come into our home, destroyed our family, and I was trying to put the pieces back together. And since this time, I've tried recently to kind of update. I need to go in and edit some more. But, anyways, I just wanted to read it because from where I started to where I am today is pretty amazing. What happens when you're affected by the corruption that is going on in the world, and your eyes begin to open up to the reality of things, and an awakening happens that everything that we've been taught is a lie. So the title is CPS Destroys Families, and basically what I said, I'm going to go ahead and read through it because it's kind of hard to see. It says, "Life is full of lessons that have taught me the importance of choosing to live my life in such a way where at the end of the road I will be able to say, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, and I did all I could to be the change I wanted to see in the world." So as I said, I did update this just recently, still have some edits to make. I believe that it is because of my strong desire to seek truth that I am learning more than I ever could have learned in today's funded and highly controlled indoctrination institutions. Before I experienced the horrendous violations being committed against countless people firsthand, my focus was mostly on the things in this world because that's the way this beast system works. I was busy running here and there, chasing after the American dream. You know, going to doctor's appointments and taking my kids to well-child checkups, spending money I didn't have on the holidays, taking my kids to Awanas, VBS, church, advancing my so-called education, working late nights in a swing shift position as a single mom while raising my 3 daughters at the time, and riding my horse around and around in an arena. Apparently the Most High, the Creator, had different plans, as my heart had been stirred up for those who I had learned around 2001 were enslaved by human trafficking. And so I continued heading in a direction that I had hoped would help me to end these types of crimes against humanity. But I had no clue just how deep the corruption and networking of the various players goes. Nor could I have ever imagined that my family would have been caught up in its giant web. There is a certain process that people go through when waking up to the injustices occurring around the world, and I'd boldly state that the toughest part is experiencing the corruption firsthand, especially when it impacts one's flesh and blood blessings from the Creator. When I intentionally started the process of preparing my fields to fight this oppression, I was encouraged to dig deeper and to step back and look at the bigger picture. At one time, I truly believed that my graduate degree in counseling was going to be the key that I needed to make a powerful impact in ending these atrocities. But as time went by, I've realized that I was on a slippery slope of becoming another oppressor in the system because of the programming I was receiving. Eldridge Cleaver was accurate in saying, "There is no more neutrality in the world. You either have to be part of the solution or you're going to be part of the problem, and being part of the problem is what we must change." The truth is that people have been dumbed down to a point that we are merely sheeple who are being used to lead our fellow men, women, and children to the slaughterhouse, and don't even realize that while we participate in such inhumane actions that we too are on this same dead-end path. People seem to be caught up in their ego most of the time to be able to even recognize or maybe even care that a spiritual battle is raging on behind the scenes that we cannot see. I am learning more about how the world is made up of energy and that we have more power than we have been led to believe. Everything we do matters, from our thoughts to our words to our actions. Our lives are shaped by the energy and beliefs we foster, and each one of us has a significant part to play in creating a world that supports one another in truth. The countless forms of corruption plaguing our world today is changing the face of what it means to live. Everyone is always talking about tolerance, unity, peace, and safety, but there is much rotten fruit that exists which sustains no life. Monsanto has depleted the soil of its minerals and corrupted the seeds, much like Big Pharma has done to our bodies. So many actions being carried out aim to defy the universal laws that are unchanging. With this being said, those who are seeking to grow in the truth can see how America is a battle zone for families who are trying to keep their flesh and blood, their living flesh, their own little ones, their children, from becoming casualties in the deceptive war being silently waged against them. For-profit corporations in the form of private business associations have claimed our little ones to be their property. They have intermingled public and private matters and are using children, parents, spouses, and our elderly as commodities to be marketed, forcing services via unlawful contracts. There are multidisciplinary teams in place with men and women carrying out these nefarious acts against the people while making their living off of it. But the masses can't see the true reality of what and whom are creating these problems because they have been taught to trust the wrong people, those with a long track record of being untrustworthy. Our public servants, the Frankensteins that were created under our noses, are unlawfully ripping healthy children, our little ones, away from their loving parents, and no due process of law is taking place. The Constitution for the U.S. has been used to wipe the feet of judges, their administrative clerks, and the bar attorneys prior to them taking a seat in the privately owned courthouses, committing treason against the people each and every day. It is so important to identify the enemy, for if we cannot identify the enemy, then it will be impossible to fight this war we are in, and before we know it, all of our children, all of our little ones will be lost, and our elderly. When researching, it is important to know that several sites online present as being on the side of truth and justice, but are in fact blocking valuable information from getting into the hands of people in need. The corporate hijacking of America has put a cloak of deceit over the unsuspecting public. However, there is nothing new under the sun. Very wealthy psychopaths who control the banks, food, water, and every system they strategically put in place today and over history have perfected their maneuvers over the centuries. National Liberty Alliance has been a great site to help me and my husband learn about the corruption and how to lawfully fight back. We are excited by the number of people from various backgrounds who are wisely fighting the good fight raging on behind the scenes today. A free Constitution course and a free civics course are available for those who sign up. I am keeping my eyes wide open and fixed on the Most High's plans, and I am going to keep asking questions, seeking answers, and doing my part to stop the corruption of CPS, the corporate state-sanctioned kidnapping for profit, these private business associations. I trust the universal laws to bring forth the reality that I aim to create for all of our children and all future generations to come. We all need to gain and spread awareness concerning the events taking place in America and using the world today and around the world today, They're taking place all over the world that are threatening our freedoms, and we must be willing to get involved. I encourage all who are seeking meaning, purpose, justice, and truth to join, whether it be, like here I said, nationallibertyalliance.org, connecting with other people who are actually fighting, and like Jennifer Wynn, Facebook, David Jose, and there's several other advocates out there who are true, genuine people who are fighting for truth. And you have the many YouTube sites who are speaking about the deep corruption that is somewhat, I mean, it's enabling these criminals to do what they're doing. I said somewhat at first because it's all unlawful, but that all their unlawful acts that they're doing are being supported and enforced by unlawful people who are, ignorant to what they're doing, or maybe some of them aren't and just decide that this is the way that they want to do it. Of course, those at the very top who are pulling the strings, they know exactly what they're doing, but there's a lot of useful idiots underneath of them who just do not understand that they are committing some of the worst, the most heinous crimes against humanity. And they are waging war against people, and it's terrible. So I say here, you can join, just, get involved, get educated, read books, and connect with the Creator. Begin to know who you are and who the Creator is, so that you're able to use the energy that is all around us for good. So anyways, just learning, knowledge is power, and don't stop there. No one has all the truth, not one person, not one group, but yes, coming together is important. And since history, religion, media, medicine, health, politics, the military, justice, education, everything has been corrupted by man, we must dig for the nuggets of truth left behind. I never eat up the whole plate or throw the baby out with the bathwater. There are doors before us that no one else can open or close. Whether you believe in a creator as I do or not, the following scripture speaks truth. Revelations 3:8. I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. And we know that the Bible has been corrupted, but there is a lot of knowledge and there's a lot of wisdom to that we can use. And that's not the only book, but we need to be searching for for this knowledge. So lastly, it says, I know that life is full of spiritual battles that we are unaware of, as there is so much more than meets the eye. We all get to choose which side we are on, who and what we live and die for, and I believe now is a great day to choose to live for a greater purpose than ourselves. This fight involves each one of us. When the trials and tribulations of this life come, which side will you fight on? So I want everyone to just take a moment to think about that today and to make some choices and to begin to live your life in such a way that you are becoming part of the solution instead of the problem. Shalom.